I want to show you how effective a hybrid program can be for fat loss, building muscle, improving cardio, and in my opinion, how it's the best type of training overall for health. We've seen headlines where it says cardio kills gains. But we've also seen headlines that says weightlifting isn't necessary for being healthy. I beg to differ. Most people think you have to pick one or the other, but when you learn to balance them out, you'll get the best of both worlds. Metabolism will improve because of weightlifting. Heart health will improve with cardio, and together you'll burn way more calories. A lot of weightlifters would perform better if they improved their cardio. Often for people who only lifts, it's not the muscle fatigue that limits their reps, it's the lack of cardio, especially in compound exercises like squats, deadlifts, and barbell rows. And if you're only running, building muscle is crucial. It enhances functional strength, support healthy hormone levels, improve postures, aid recoveries from fall or injuries, which is important as we age. Here's a client of mine. He's 41 years old, from the US, 5'9", weighs 205 pounds. His goal is lowering his body fat to somewhere around 15 to 20%. He worked out in the past, but want to get back into it now. In the past, he's done weightlifting and calisthenics. He's a busy individual, so you want his workout to ideally be 1 hour long, 3 times a week. In this video, I'll show you how to create your own hybrid program to get leaner and stronger. And I'm going to use my client here as an example when doing it. So if you're aiming for similar results, you can just copy what I'm doing, save some time, and get effective results. So let's call my client Bob. Bob just messaged me about his training experience and current fitness levels. He has some background in traditional weightlifting, but the main reason he wanted to start working with me is because he wanted to start incorporating cardio into his workouts. As of right now, he says his mile is around 15 minutes, which isn't great, but it can be improved very quickly. You just need to be a little bit smart about how we build up his cardio with a program, not just jumping right into 10 miles per week plan, especially for someone at his current level right now. But kudos to Bob for being aware of the importance of cardiovascular health. Heart diseases kills about 1/3 of every person, so 1/3 of us, statistically speaking, will die from cardiovascular diseases. So it's important. He also mentioned that he previously pulled his back, so he's a little bit anxious about injuring himself again. We'll have to account for that when creating the program and find a way around that. Many hybrid YouTubers says that the ideal baseline for a hybrid program is 3 strength sessions a week plus 3 cardio sessions per week. But for most people with a full-time job or maybe a family, that is completely unrealistic. The good news is that you don't need to do that much. You can get almost all the health benefits with half that amount. So Bob said that he wants to work out 3 times a week, 1 hour each session, which I think is perfect for beginners. 3 hours a week isn't a huge commitment, and if you know what you're doing, you can get great results from that. But the question is, how should you split these workouts throughout the week? Us humans, when we are forced to do things we don't like, we won't do it for very long. Enjoyment matters. So, when creating your hybrid program, if you love running more than lifting or vice versa, tilt your program toward what you actually enjoy the most because it will help you stay consistent in the long run. Right now, I know that Bob runs a mile in 15 minutes, as he says, so his cardio can actually be improved in weightlifting sessions by doing small structural tweaks. And given his background, he mentioned that he have chased numbers in the gym before, so I reckon he enjoys weightlifting. Meanwhile, I don't know if he enjoys pure cardio session yet, so I want to start slow on the pure cardio sessions. So I'm gonna prescribe him only 1 pure cardio session a week, because if he hates it, it can make him give up on the program completely, so I don't want to give him more than 1. And then I'm giving him 2 weightlifting sessions a week. When structuring a hybrid program, you need to consider recovery, especially for your legs. If you run after a big leg day or run 2 days after a big leg day even, you might feel like you have heavy legs when running. This will hurt your performance and also increase unnecessary risk of injury. I'm going to schedule weightlifting on Monday, I think it's a good day, and Wednesday, also weightlifting session, and then the pure cardio session on Saturday. This gives Bob 48 hours to recover between each lifting session, which should be enough, and a full 3-day to recover before a cardio session. When it comes to weightlifting sessions, what's the best split for this scenario? So James Krieger meta-analysis is a study of many studies, shows that in a single workout, the most muscle growth for each muscle group happens at the first 6 sets. Going beyond that has diminishing returns. So if you do 10 sets for chest in one session, those last 4 sets might be junk. You'll get more for each set if you spread those 10 sets across 2 different sessions. That's why I'm going to give Bob a 2-day full body splits. And then I'm going to prescribe him for each week 9 sets in total for his shoulders, 10 sets for his chest and back, 12 sets for his quads and hamstrings. So there's different amount of sets for some muscle groups is because some muscle groups are bigger than others and need more volume. I'm also splitting these sets across 2 workouts. That way we'll get the most bang for each set. But you might be thinking, 31 sets in 2 hours in total. How the hell am I gonna fit that in? Well, we're using supersets to save time. It cranks up the intensity, which will burn more calories for each session. So that's a good thing for Bob's case. And at Bob's cardio levels, doing supersets will actually also improve his cardio at the same time. But one mistake you should know that many people make is when doing superset, they're doing exercises in the same muscle group, and it will lead to junk volume a lot of time, which are reps that are easy and light that don't have as much effect on strength or hypertrophy. Instead, it's better to pair and exercise on a superset that don't tires each other out, like supersetting chest and back, so each muscle group can perform their best for each set, and that means that you get more quality for each set. Next question: which exercise will give you the most value for your time? So, compound movements like squats, deadlifts, rows, bench press, shoulder press, and pull-ups, these train multiple muscles in the same muscle group, and a lot of the exercises train also many muscles outside of the primary targeted muscle group. So by doing compound movements, you're getting a lot more for each set. So here's what I am going to prescribe Bob. So weightlifting session 1, superset 1 will be push press with the focus on strength, and dumbbell Romanian deadlift with the hypertrophy focus. 5 sets there in total with 2 minutes rest in between. So we're using dumbbell Romanian deadlift instead of barbell Romanian deadlift because it reduces the risk of injuring your back. And since Bob had pulled his back before, I think that's smart. Push press instead of shoulder press because it's better for functional strength. Also, something you should know, when supersetting and you have one exercise focused on strength and one on hypertrophy, I'll go into detail why I have it like that later, is that you always start with your strength lift because you want to start your strength lift fresh because it makes it easier to track your progress and make calculated decision to progressively overload later. Superset 2 though will be weighted pull-ups with your strength focus, and then dumbbell incline bench press, hypertrophy focus there, 5 sets, 2 rest. If you can't do weighted pull-ups, then do regular pull-ups. The most important thing is that you progressively overload. I actually need to check with Bob if he can do weighted pull-ups or what his levels on pull-ups are. And dumbbell incline bench press for hypertrophy, because dumbbell gives you a better range of motion and can give you a better stretch than a regular barbell. And stretch is the most important part of the lift when it comes to hypertrophy. And incline is because it hits the upper chest more than other chest presses, and upper chest is what most people are lacking the most. But incline is also as effective as the other presses, as decline or neutral on the lower pecs. So why not just do incline then? And superset number 3 will be reverse hyperextension machine and leg curl machine. Both focus on hypertrophy here. 3 sets, no rest in between. So this targets your whole lower body, quads, hamstring, glutes, and there's no rest in between here. So we're going to fail here because machine movements are safer to push to failure than compound movement, because there's not really any real risk of injuring yourself when going to failure on machines. It's also help Bob's understand how real failure feels like. It will help him judging his RPE, rate of perceived exertion, better on his compounds list. Alright, weight session number 2. Superset 1 will do barbell bench press with focus on strength, and then bent over row with focus on hypertrophy. 5 sets there, 2 minutes rest. So bench press is a classic for measuring your strength. If you can't really do 12 strict pull-ups, the row is better for hypertrophy because it's easier to progressively overload with the row, and also you can choose a lighter weight on the row, and a lighter weight will help you get the mind muscle connection better, which is very important for hypertrophy. Superset 2 will be belt squat, focus on strength, with dumbbell shoulder press, focus on hypertrophy. So superset 2 is going to be 4 sets, 2 minutes rest. Belt squat instead of the barbell squats because it reduces spinal pressure, and perfect for someone like Bob who have pulled his back before. Dumbbell shoulder press for hypertrophy is because it's better than the push press because it's less explosive movement, so it's more time and tension in the muscle we're targeting. Better for hypertrophy then. And also dumbbell instead of barbell because we can carry our dumbbell to the belt squat machine. So when we're supersetting, we don't have to worry that somebody gonna take the belt squats machine when doing our shoulder presses. And superset 3 will finish off with a cable crunch, bicep curls, and triceps push down. 2 sets there, no rest. I call this the ménage à trois of pain. Usually you have to pay double for that. To failure, we're going to failure here, no pauses. It will improve cardio at Bob's levels of cardio, and you want to finish the workout breathing heavy, sweating, because it actually makes you feel like you worked out. Okay, now that we have our plan, how many reps should Bob do? You probably noticed that I split up the superset with the compounds lift in one that is focused on strength and one exercise that is focused on hypertrophy. The reason for that is because of DUP, daily undulating periodization. So, a study that is published in Journal of Strength took 22 college students that is conditioned, men with lifting experience basically, and divided them into 2 groups to compare DUP versus linear periodization over 12 weeks on the leg presses and bench press. So the DUP group adjusted their reps each session, and the linear group adjusted it only every 4 weeks. The DUP group got almost twice as good results as the linear group on the leg press and the bench press. And that's not the only study backing DUP. Another study in 2008 examined the effect of DUP and linear periodization on firefighter training. So the DUP group achieved better upper body strength, lower body strength, power output, vertical jump, and grinder speed. By just varying between hypertrophy and strength training, we can get better strength result and make it easier to progressively overload later, which is what is most important if you want to see results from your gym workout. So, on exercises that are focused on strength, I'm prescribing 3 to 5 reps. On exercises that are focused on hypertrophy, I'm giving 10 to 12 reps. When it comes to planning runs for Bob or any hybrid programs, I recommend avoiding zone 3 as much as possible. Zone 3 is where your heart rate is between 70 to 80% of your max heart rate. It's often called the tempo zone. And the problem with zone 3 is that in zone 3 you burn both carbs and fat as fuels. So your body doesn't really learn how to be efficient at either. Zone 2 is better if you want to become more efficient in utilizing fat. Zone 4 and 5 is better if you want to be more efficient at utilizing carb. But I guess my main problem with zone 3 is recovery, because you're not really getting any more cardio benefits in zone 3 versus zone 2, but the recovery from zone 3 takes a lot longer. Zone 3 just takes a huger toll on your body. Many running coaches uses a polarized model, mostly zone 2 with occasional zone 4 and zone 5 interval for the best overall cardio. It's like a cardio version of DUP, I guess you can call it, mixing it up so your body becomes adaptive to both using fat and carbs efficiently for fuel. For Bob, I'm giving him one interval training every 3 weeks. That's where he'll train his zone 4 and zone 5. And for 2 of 3 weeks, he'll stick to zone 2 training. I'm giving him a 7-week block with a 1-week deload in the middle. In the deload, there will be less and shorter sessions where focus is on active recovery. Deload are great for consistency and preventing burnout. It's also like your missus being on her period. A week's break sparks things up again and you want to get back into training after that. Something you need to know is that the most important thing if you want to see results from your training is progressive overload. I recommend you writing down your program in a spreadsheet or your phone. Just make sure that you track your numbers because you're actually not getting results unless you're progressing by either increasing your distance or pace on your cardio trainings or set reps weight on your strength training. If you want, we can do all of that for you. You can save time and skip the guesswork. You can create you a plan that fits your goals and need, like what I did here for Bob. You can track your progress, adjust intensity and volume for you, make sure that you are getting results. Keep you accountable and also be there 24/7 if you have any question regarding health and fitness. If you want to skip the trial and errors, there's a link in the description of this video. In that link, you can try TLA 2 weeks for free. And if you find out that what we offer isn't for you or that you don't like the program that you've been given, you can cancel without paying a dime. If you want to do it yourself, no problem. You can just copy what I did here because I basically given you 90% of what you need to consider when creating your own hybrid program. But if you're still unsure whether a hybrid program is right for you, I made another video here. This is where I test all the most popular training styles and see what's most effective for fat loss and also what the pros and cons for each training style is. I really hope you might have learned something from this video and I hope I see you over there. Anyway, thanks for watching. Cheers.